Don Kaufman is with us, co-founder of Theotrade, to talk about the thousands of cancellations that we saw for American Airlines. We look at the group, and people love to try and make money, as particularly this group was beaten down. They took on a lot of debt. The group popped up, but now what? It feels very choppy at best.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, if you're an investor, this has always been a hard sector. Like, when has airlines not struggled? When you think about airline stocks, do you think of innovation, or do you think of basically struggling? And right now, the headwinds in this environment, and that is an inflationary environment, that's with rising energy costs, labor shortages, like, how is that going to benefit the airlines? Nevertheless, I think there are some absolutely some trade opportunities in this particular sector.
Right, and as American Airlines canceled more than 300 flights today and thousands over the weekend, leaving folks stranded, they noted weather conditions. They noted people sick out, in that people were feeling sick from getting the vaccine, right? A few weeks ago, it was that maybe, and they denied this, but we had some of the airlines noting that maybe they were just not wanting to get the vaccine. So the big picture is now, going forward, we have to do some trading, right? So tell us how you would do this. In fact, I noted you have a pair trade, right?
Yeah, so this is definitely off the beaten path. There's a couple things that come to mind inside the airlines if you're a bit of a trader. First and foremost, scalping on an intraday basis. That means in, out, rapid kind of succession trading can be rather effective in the airlines because there's some volatility. But for those that are really not up to speed on, faster executions, getting in and out the same day, a pairs trade can absolutely be effective. And in this particular case, I would look at something where it's more like, best of breed, if you will, like Southwest Airlines, long Southwest, possibly short American Airlines. And you can literally look at these two on the same chart, okay? And the ebb and flow where they're actually converging and diverging. And we can actually set up a pairs trade either with options. We could set it up long and short, stock. But if you're in, for instance, a retirement account, you would have to use a synthetic short position, which, to put that in a little bit of context, typically we would use like a deep in the money put. But again, this is best of breed versus, possibly worst of breed, which would be Southwest long and American Airlines short.
You noted the ebbs and flows, and it's just that when we think about Southwest, people seem to have a lot of confidence because really they do a lot of short domestic flights, right? And American Airlines is a bigger picture, an international player. It's interesting, too, to see the group even up 2-3%. Sometimes it reacts to oil or any one headline, but they often can move as a group. But your point is that Southwest is likely to be the better performer, right? Now, would you do this on a shorter play and a longer play? Would you split it up, or is it okay to just say, hey, I'm going to make this move for a long time?
So that's actually dependent upon experience level. So I'll trade in and out of pairs trade every few days. And it's literally like, okay, we're profitable at this point. We can go ahead and exit. We enter back in when the pairs, ultimately collapse or converge upon one another. And it's actually, you have to get a little bit comfortable, though, with looking at a comparison chart, literally one product versus another. And this can get fairly quantitative. That's okay for some individuals. Again, when it comes to airlines, like, you look at the sector as a whole, and it's just such a hard sector to get excited about. But from a trading perspective, it's there. It's got the volatility that traders kind of seek out. I mean, again, you think about the sector. When was the last time you thought of airlines and thought of innovation? Everywhere around us, we think of innovation. I mean, the last time they flew like the Concorde, what is it? 2003. We're almost 20 years past, supersonic flight for retail clients. We're talking about space, but we can't even have supersonic flight across the Atlantic. And it's actually a sad premise when you start to think about it. The airlines have been left behind in the innovative world.
And now we have to look forward. I mean, I think you make a great point. And just to be simplistic, how about the holiday season? Right, I just finished talking about going to outer space at the same time. People are thinking about Thanksgiving. They're thinking about Christmas. We had 1,900 flights canceled by American Airlines over the weekend. This really can put the entire industry and economy in jeopardy if people say, hey, I'm not even going to fly because it just seems to still be choppy or whatever. Or if they do, they could really hurt the bottom line of these airlines if they have to keep moving things around and they can't meet the goals.
There's no question. I mean, listen, flying right now, it's brutal. I have to fly in a few weeks. I saw what happened this past weekend. I saw a couple of weeks ago what happened with Southwest. I'm not excited about it. I was actually joking. Literally just this past weekend, I got to put on a couple of extra pounds over here, put on, my fighting weight to be able to go fly. It's that sad, though, at this point in time. And I can probably say, hands down, I flew 150 to 200,000 miles a year for about 20 years of my career. So, unquestionably, I've been a business flyer, but this flight is coming up as recreational. But again, I'm dreading it, and it has nothing to do with flying with family. Flying is clearly not what it used to be, and I think that anybody that has flown recently would have to agree with that. I mean, everything from fights on aircraft to lack of service. I mean, they're cutting wherever they possibly can, and the cost cutting, and I get it. I mean, the airlines have to cost cut. But again, one of the bigger perspectives that I continue to kind of harp on is there's never been innovation in this sector, okay, in any recent history. And there needs to be. There needs to be at this point in time because, going to an airport and flying, it reminds me of, childhood of going into, Penn Station or something like that, which is not exactly a lovely thing to do on a day-to-day basis.